That was your fastest lap of the session.
All right, let's take a look at that. So for the Coda laps this week, I got help from Andrew Cootie from CCH Motorsports. All of his links will be in the description because I am absolutely trash at Coda. So I really appreciate his help. But he passed some tips along the way for me to give you guys. So here we go. So going into this, you really want to make this as wide as possible, your little run-up corner, because look at that. That's a long straightaway. So you're going to want to have that momentum. It's going to carry over into lap time. You don't really just want to do it conservatively if you don't need to. But as we go into the first corner here, notice all of the real estate that he takes up, and then also notice his braking technique. So if I want to point out two things here. First thing, amount of braking, about 80%. You can probably make 100% work, but it's really sketchy. So 80% is kind of like where you want to be. And then notice his wheel. The wheel is completely straight. You can't have any wheel input while you're at that 80% or even like higher than 50% braking, because that is just going to get the car to lock up or they're going to spin out. So you can see getting through the gears, and then finally notice this wide entry. He's going to want to almost make a late apex type of cut so we can straighten out the corner, but it's more like he's just using all of the real estate that he's given because he's trying to get in as hard as he can and out as hard as he can. So on the gas, you notice here he is half throttle-ish as he's turning the wheel because he doesn't want to spin the tires, and so he only goes full throttle in first once his wheel is pretty much straight. And then as we start to get through the S's here, in second gear, getting down into second. If you stay in third, it's not going to have as much maneuverability, so you really just want to ride that throttle in second. And then notice this too. He did not use all of the track coming out of here. It's very tempting to go all the way out and use all the track, but you're not going to get set up for the next corner very good. Makes sense? Because this corner is more important, because that hitting that corner sets you up for the next corner. The track limits here are kind of wild, actually. He got a little off track there, but like you got to be careful on what curbs you cut and what runoffs you use, because they really are hard asses in iRacing about that. You don't use the NASCAR track limits, but this track limit right here, you can go pretty far off. You can't go all the way in there, but you can get pretty far. Then once again, same braking technique. Get the wheel jacked and try to make that late apex. Same idea as the first hairpin there. Same technique, same all of that. So as we get down to the end of the long straight here, we have another hairpin. And notice here, a little bit of wheel hop there. So you can see that that wheel hop arose, actually. You see how his wheel was slightly turned in first gear as he downshifted? Oh, excuse me. That little tiny angle right there, that's still going to get wheel hop. So if you're hard braking, that wheel has to be straight. Cut that apex really nicely. And then this is one of the harder parts. Notice how late he's taking these apexes. He had to stick into second here because he was getting a little bit of wheel spin that he didn't want. But ideally, you want to be into first there. Helps with your exit. So that was probably, he said, the only mistake that he made. Ideally, you want to be able to get it into first and be able to rotate that car a little easier. But you see missing that apex just slightly. It's hard to do. This lap is a long one. It's hard to put together, especially in these cars. So yeah, ideally get into first, bring it out, then you cut it back in, try to straighten everything out as much as possible. Try to get as far right as possible here, but not too much to where you miss the turn in, because you really want to late cut that apex. When you can take those hairpin type corners, late cut into them, straighten it out, that's when you can get that exit speed. And that kind of carries all through this part. Even though you're just riding the throttle, it's all about setting up your angle. And then as we get into the final corner here, one more 45-degree turn. Oh, sorry. I get lost on here even. I forgot there's two 45-degree turns, and they pretty much go the same. You slow down a little more for the second one. You cut that as much as you can, but you can't go over the boundary. And that is a full lap here. So just like always with these road course races, these stock cars do not like to have their tires heat up. So you might want to back off your lap time a little bit, but you want to do whatever is necessary to keep these laps consistent without sliding your tires, because the moment that you start sliding your tires is when they're going to heat up and it's going to get out of control. Having hot tires causes you to slide them more, which causes hotter tires, which causes you to slide them more, which causes hotter tires. So basically, just keep your car under you. Don't be too aggressive on the throttle. Maybe turn those first gear moments into second gear at certain points later in the run if your car is being that squirrely. But it's really all about just managing your stuff, keeping the car straight, and managing that tire heat. All right, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.